do we not lose our next sale? Have you ever had the thought of, these conversations on social media, they don't get me to my next sale? Or have you ever been ghosted on Messenger? Or have you ever thought that conversations on social actually don't go anywhere? Then stay tuned, because I'll be sharing with you 3 tips today, 3 steps that you can take and that you want to remember next time you start a conversation on social media, because this is a powerful tool if we use it, pardon me, the right way. Hello and welcome. I'm excited you're here. In case we haven't met before, my name is Katrin from bloomwithkatrin.com, and I'm coming live to you from the beautiful Bavarian forest in Germany. Normally, today I'm at my corporate job. It's just lunch break, and I just hopped out real quick to give you these 3 tips, because they're so huge, because it can get us so close to giving up, right? To thinking, oh, I just can't do this. And you actually be able to use my tips on social media for messenger conversations as well as in real life, right? Because having a conversation with a human being really doesn't make a difference whether we have it online on social or offline in the real world. To me, both worlds are very real. Let me know whether you can relate. So if you're on live with me here today or on the replay, please say hello, so because I love to be able to circle back to you and thank you personally for spending some of your very valuable lifetime with me. So how would it feel for you if you actually were relaxed on social media, in conversations, having with whomever, whether you have them. Oh, hang on. They left. Sorry, I'm in a parking lot, right? And people just going by and drawing faces, just what happens when you go live outside, right? So how would it feel for you if you could start a conversation and feel confident throughout, from the moment of your initial contact right to the moment of closing the sale, right? Which is eventually, hopefully, what's going to happen, right? So number 1 is give people time. Now, a mentor of mine shared this analogy, and I use it in my thinking and in helping others every day. It's like, I don't know where it comes from, but on social media we behave like we're on a date, and it's okay to ask the other person for marriage in the very first conversation, maybe even the very first message that we send, right? Now, just imagine that for yourself, right? You're on a date, meeting somebody for the first time, getting their first message, and now this person actually asks you for marriage, right? Wouldn't it be a normal human reaction to take a step back and go, whoa, right? Our defenses are going to go up. Would you agree? For whatever reason, I'm not quite sure, maybe it's that instant gratification that we're used to on social media. Everything is at our disposal, apparently, with just one click, right? Thing is, when I accept a friend request, or when I have somebody accept my friend request, it's not to be sent the sign-up link right away, or the amazing thing, whatever it is that they have. I truly and honestly would love to get to know the person, right? So we can build know, like, and trust with each other. We don't ask each other for marriage instantly. Why would we do it on social media? So for me, what's really a good analogy as well is, I don't know about you, but I used, at least, to love red wine. I haven't had any alcohol in years because I just don't like it anymore. But back then, I'll always remember that, when you open that bottle of really awesome red wine, right? A Rioja, for example, that used to be one of my favorite kinds of red wine, and you have to let it breathe, right, to really develop its full aroma. That's what we want with relationships as well, right? So let's give each other time to breathe, to get to know, like, and trust each other. That's very, very important. Now, tip number 2, and this might be scary, and let me know whether you can relate, because I know I can. I used to struggle big time with this. You want to ask for what it is that you want. You want to ask for the sale. And you want to do it, and this is something I learned from Matt Morris, you want to close early and often, okay? And this used to so scare me. Let me know if I'm the only one or whether you can relate a little bit, right? So what happens is we have that conversation, we build the know, like, and trust, and we finally get to have a conversation about what it is we have to offer, right? And by the way, from the initial contact and having that conversation doesn't have to take eternity. Right? It's really just about asking the right kinds of questions. And if you need training on that, feel free to reach out to me, because I'm sure that I'll be able to help you and direct you to the right kind of training that's going to, move the needle forward for you in that matter. But so say you've given your information, and now it's like time to ask for the sale, right? Are you ready to get started? Something along those lines. Now, really, it's a simple process. You give the information and you ask for the sale. When you get into that habit, it's really a simple process, and it's a process that's going to duplicate because it's simple. But what naturally happens often is you're going to get some sort of objection. I need to think about it, I need to talk to my spouse about it, whatever. You've heard these before, right? So what's really important here is to be able to not only help other people overcome these objections, and I just did a live video just a couple of weeks back on how to do that in an easy 3-step process. So if you want that, please feel free to reach out. I'm happy to send you a replay, right? So you overcome the objection, and then you close again. You ask for the sale again. Are you ready to get started now? Right? You have to keep on asking that question. So, because people need to be led at the end of the day. Would you agree? So, tip number 3, and this is really major. Let's stop losing that sale with the 4-second rule. Because I don't know about you, but I used to struggle majorly with that awkward silence moment, and I'm going to be silent for just a few seconds here in a second, okay? So let's imagine this, right? You've given your information and you've asked the question, whew, okay? And now you hear nothing. And that can be really awkward, and it can be difficult to, not to interrupt that silence. Would you agree? Right. So we start talking because it's uncomfortable. And what we're actually doing, we're interrupting a very important a very important mental process that's going on in the other person. And here's the thing. What would you think? How many seconds does it take on average for an adult person to make a buying decision for something that ranges between 100 and 1,000 or even a few thousand euros in my case, or maybe dollars in yours, right? What do you think? How long does it actually take us to take that decision? It's not long. It's on average 4 to 8 seconds. It's not long, right? However, when you've just, mastered up your courage, and you've given the information, you've had the conversation, you've given the information, you've asked for the sale, and now you hear nothing for 4 to 8 seconds. It's really, really difficult. And here's the thing, another average number. I love numbers. The average person involved in sales will allow 2 to 3 seconds of silence after asking for the sale. And then they'll start interrupting, they'll start selling, giving even more awesome points why it's really the best decision to make that purchase, right? So what we're doing is actually we're talking ourselves out of the sale. Okay? Now, how important is that to understand and to remember, right? So I hope you're going to remember this when you're next time in a closing conversation, right? We're interrupting the mental process. So the other person's going, okay, am I ready to make that decision, right? So they start thinking, and they say nothing because they're busy thinking. They're in their mental process, and we interrupt them. We actually talk ourselves out of the sale. So let's not do that anymore, right? And it's really difficult to duplicate as well, because it's not easy and simple anymore, right? It becomes complicated, which it really isn't at the end of the day. So these are my 3 tips for you, right? Give people time. Remember, the red wine needs to breathe. Let people breathe when you start out in your conversations. Be an amazing human being, who you are anyway, right? Let that shine through. Who are you? What do you stand for? Have a real conversation with people and let them breathe, not, ask them for marriage in the first message or then the second one, right? Then number 2, ask for the sale and close early and often. And number 3 is stop losing the sale with the 4-second rule. Okay, so I hope this is going to be helpful for you to relax in your conversations from the initial contact right up to the point of closing the sale. Give people time again to breathe and to finish their thinking processes, right? So what I do when I've asked the question, are you ready to get started? I count silently in my head. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I still don't hear anything, I might actually count up to 6, so as to not interrupt the other person's mental process, okay? Again, in closing here, if you're not sure on how to overcome that objection, that are always going to come up. It's just normal, right? People have objections whenever we offer them something. That's normal. So if you need that, if you're not quite sure on how to do that in 3 simple steps to overcome any objection, please reach out to me. I'm happy to share the replay of that video for you and fill you in. So thanks so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. Let me know, as always, what was new for you, what was maybe an aha for you, and above all things, what are you going to implement from here on out? Okay, so again, thank you so much for watching. Have a pleasant day, have a successful day, and enjoy having your conversations, whether it's on social media or offline. So see you on the weekend. Have a great